online
Okay, so today we're going to be learning a little bit about reading comprehension. Reading comprehension is understanding the things that you read, making sure that you are making use of the text that you're interacting with to the most effectiveness they can be. When you are in university, you're going to be reading a lot. So you should make sure that you're doing that in the most effective way possible. The first skill that I want to talk about is skimming. Sometimes you can't read everything. I know that when I was in university, there were some things that I just didn't have time to read all of because there was so much work. Skimming is a skill that can help you with that. So the first thing that you're going to do is to read the title and the subtitles of the things that you're reading, making sure that you're getting the main idea, the organizing keywords, the organizing topics of the text that you're reading. Next, read the introduction or the first paragraph. And so if you're reading a book, it can be really helpful to read the introduction because the introduction often gives you the big picture idea of the entire book. Or if you're reading an article, reading the introduction paragraph gives you an overview idea of the entire article. Next, read the first sentences of every paragraph. The first sentence often includes the main idea. And so if I'm reading the introduction that gives me the overview of the article or of the book, and then I read the first sentence of every paragraph in the article, I can at least get some of the main ideas, even if I'm missing some of the details. Next, look at the pictures, charts, graphs, and italicized or bold words. These are some of the main ideas. The pictures, charts, and graphs are in there for a reason, and so you should try to understand them and think about how they are related to maybe the main ideas of the passage. The italicized or bold words, again, these are words that will definitely be important words to understanding the passage or the book. And so focus on those. Make sure that you understand those and try to figure out what they are. And then last, read the summary or the last paragraph. So again, we start with the first paragraph or the introduction. That gives us an overview, a preview of what is going to be in the book. And then that last paragraph or the summary or the conclusion of the book or the article will give us kind of a wrap up. So we'll review everything. If you can't read everything, reading these things will definitely give you a good idea of the main ideas and how you can use that reading. These are also good skills if you are taking an English test and you don't have time to read everything before you look at the questions. Skimming the passage on the English test can be really helpful for you as you approach the questions. Another important skill is scanning. This is also an important skill on an English reading test. This is when you have a specific question or piece of information in mind. So often when I'm doing research, I know that I'm looking for things about this topic, or I have a question about when this thing happened or where this happened. So I have that question in mind when I go into the article or when I go into the book. I'm looking for that answer. Then I should predict the answer, or the type of answer that I'm going to see. What words will I see? What structure will the answer be? What do I have an idea for what the answer is? Do I think that I already know what the answer is? Because if I have those in mind, I can go into the reading looking specifically for the answer to my question. As you do it, I should use headings, pictures, bold words, or other organizing clues to help direct me toward the answer. That means if I know that I'm looking for the date of this event that happened in this area for this reason, and it was important for this reason, I should use the headings to kind of direct me. What section will I think it will be in? What was this event related to? Where will this information be? So that I can try to zoom into that section so I can find the information that I'm looking for as fast as possible. I should then selectively read or skip information until I find what I need to know. When you're scanning, you don't need to read everything. You know what your question is, you know what information you want to find. You should jump around. Look for those keywords, look for things that are related to the thing that you're looking for, and just read that until you find the information that you want. Oh, that's all. And so this is a really important skill as you're trying to answer questions. So when you're doing research, or as I said, when you're on an English test. So skimming and scanning are important skills for an English test. When I was doing reading tests in English before university and at university, I would skim first. So I have a general idea of what a passage is about, and then I would go to the questions and I would start scanning. I know this is the question that I have. Can I find the specific answer in the passage? So skimming and scanning can work together to make you an effective reader. Next, I want to talk a little bit about finding the main ideas. As you are reading texts in your classes, you want to make sure that you are understanding what the main ideas are and how they're related to each other. The main ideas can be often found in the first sentences and the final sentences. That's why when you're skimming, you want to read the introduction and the conclusion, and you want to read the first sentences of all the paragraphs. The first sentences and final sentences often give you an idea of what the main idea is. And then you should think about who, where, when, why, how. Which of these things are important? What are the answers to all of these questions in regard to the paragraph or the passage that you just read? This is also a way that you can look back at your notes after you've taken notes, is to think back on your notes at who is important, where were they, when was this happening, why, and how. These are questions that you should answer. And so here is an example. Let's actually just start by looking at the first and the last sentences. To many parents, the infant's crying may be mainly an irritation, especially if it continues for long periods. And then the last sentence. When babies cry, they indicate that they are hungry or in pain, and this is important information for parents. So, a few things that I already know are repeating in the first and last sentences. I know it's about crying, I know it's about babies, and I know it's about parents. So these are clearly some of the main ideas for this passage. As I continue reading the rest of it, but crying serves important functions for the child as well as for the parents. For the child, crying helps improve lung capacity and the respiratory system. Perhaps more important, the cry serves as the signal of distress. So these are the remaining sentences, the sentences in the middle, that give me more details. So as I'm thinking about the questions, who is important? Well, I only have two groups of people in this, and they are babies and parents. And those words, infants, babies, parents, appeared in almost every sentence. So I know that those are part of the main idea. Where? I don't think where is actually an important part of the main idea of this paragraph, because I didn't have anything about location. When? Again, I don't really have any details about time, so that's probably not important. Why? That seems to actually be the main question of this paragraph, which is why is crying, which is the main topic, I think. Why is crying important? Or how is crying used by babies, and in what ways? So when I read this paragraph, I can focus on those first and last sentences, the words that reappear, that are said multiple times, and then these ideas, who, what, where, when, why, and how, to start to identify what is the main idea, what is the key concept that is being communicated through this paragraph. And when I have an idea of finding the main ideas, that will help me be a more effective reader. I'm not trying to memorize every single word, but I am trying to keep track of the main concepts and how they relate to each other. Next, a little bit more about reading comprehension, a really important skill, especially when reading in English, or in any language that you don't necessarily know, is context clues. When you don't understand the meaning of a word or a sentence, use context clues. Yes, it can be easy to translate something or look it up in a dictionary, but often you can't. Often you don't have time, or you can't use your phone, you can't use the internet. You need to use your brain. Context clues means taking hints or ideas from the context of the word, the sentence that it is in, how it works in that sentence, what comes before, what comes after, to figure out what does this word mean, maybe, even though I don't know. And here are a few examples of context clues. The first one is word parts. The parts of a word, understanding root words, what different word parts mean, root words, suffixes, prefixes that give me an idea of this word. Terraform. You might know what terraform means, but you also might not. I know a lot of people that do not know the meaning of terraform. But if I can isolate this into this word's parts, I have two parts. I have the word terra, which maybe you know the word terra. Terra means earth or ground or the world, right? Terra, earth. You might recognize it from the word terracotta. Then I have the word form. Form is definitely a word that you know. It means shape or to create, to form. To terraform is actually to shape the earth. It is to move the earth or the dirt or the ground around to actually create new shapes or new structures out of the earth. So if I don't know the meaning of terraform, but I do recognize the section terra, the section form, I recognize these sections of the word, I can have a good idea about what this word might mean. Suffixes, prefixes, root words can be really helpful in this way. Another thing is a definition or explanation. So, discrimination or unfairly targeting one or more groups by those who perceive themselves to be superior can cause distress. So here, maybe I don't know what the word discrimination means, but there is a clear explanation of the word right after the word discrimination. Sometimes when we're reading, I see the word discrimination and I freak out because I've never seen this word before. I'm not exactly sure what it means. But if I calm down and just read the sentence and try to connect the ideas in the sentence, I can create an understanding of this word that I've never seen before. So it's unfairly targeting one or more groups of people. It's unfairness. It's about superiority. It's about feeling better than someone. So I can already see that it's probably a negative concept. It's a negative idea. It's about the negative treatment of other people. So even if I don't know what discrimination means, I have a good idea of how it works. Next, I can look for synonyms within the same sentence or within the same passage. The girl was very aloof. She always seemed uninterested. Do you know what aloof means? I actually love the word aloof, but a lot of people probably don't know what it means. Luckily, I have these two sentences that are right next to each other. Aloof is right next to the word uninterested. Uninterested and aloof actually have very similar meanings. And so if I look at the sentence before and after for similar ideas or for similar structures, I start to get an idea of what the word might mean. Next, antonyms. So I expected the party to be boring, but it was actually rather lively. So you might not know what the word lively means, but I have the word boring right before it. And then I have the word but. And but, as we know, signifies a contrast or a difference. So I know that boring is being contrasted with the word lively. So lively probably means something like fun or exciting, which is exactly what lively means. So I can look for antonyms or contrasts in words like but or however. And then last, I might find examples. So, for example, a great inventor like Nikola Tesla is a great innovator like Nikola Tesla is constantly coming up with new solutions to problems. So I have the word innovator, which maybe I don't know what an innovator is, but maybe I know Nikola Tesla. You might know Nikola Tesla as like the creator of electricity or something like that. And so I can connect this word innovator with someone like Nikola Tesla, who is creating new things. He's brainstorming new solutions. I have words like new solutions to problems. And so I am starting to realize that innovators are people that create things in new ways based on the context clues that I'm given in this sentence. Context clues don't tell you exactly what a word means, but they can give you good ideas of what a word might mean based on the context or the sentence that it's in. Reading comprehension is a really important skill for you as you are entering university and you're about to read probably a lot more text than you've ever interacted with in your life. Reading can be overwhelming, but if you are making sure to use good reading comprehension skills, it can be a lot easier for you. I hope these have helped you out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time for our next session.